Hello and welcome. This is from the CBN. We bring to you weekly reports and expert analysis of the actions, policies, events, and economic initiatives of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. I am Williamisi Dada. Some economic analysts believe that the latest figures from the National Bureau of Statistics, putting headline inflation at 20.77% in September, showed a slower advancement of prices month on month due to the cumulative impact of the tight monetary policy stance of the Central Bank of Nigeria. The bank's Monetary Policy Committee had noted in its September communiqué that a tight policy stance would help consolidate the impact of the two previous policy rate hikes. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) in its October World Economic Outlook has stated that inflation often comes down to how people expect prices to rise in the future. We'll be discussing this and other related matters in today's package. But first, let's bring you the news from the CBN this week. The Bankers Committee has announced the approval of the National Domestic Card Scheme, an initiative of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Managing Director of the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System (NIBSS), Mr. Premier Oiwo, who made the announcement during the Virtual Bankers Committee press briefing yesterday, said the National Domestic Card Scheme is being deployed to help improve the payment landscape across the ecosystem in the country.
So part of the proposition of the value that this National Domestic Card Scheme would be creating is to help drive acceptance and efficiency, reduce operating costs of the card operation in the country, and also provision of unique and reliable services, because other features and other products will be layered on this card. Uniquely, this card will be configured to address the unique ecosystem issues that we have to help improve payments across the nation. This card will, as I said, will be a platform, and then a lot of products will be layered across, ranging from debit card, virtual card, credit card, non-interest card, which will specifically address the needs of the Muslim segment of the country, then identity card. Any form of card scheme can be layered on this platform.
Meanwhile, the Bankers Committee has set up the National Vision Center, temporarily situated within the premises of the CBN, as part of the industry's response to cybersecurity threats and to protect critical information infrastructure. The center will serve to minimize damage and enhance recovery time in case of cyber attack.
Cyber security is a very challenging subject, and one of the unintended consequences of automation and digitization. And our vision as a banking industry is to actually come out with countermeasures in order to mitigate that risk. So to prevent cyber attacks, to deter them, to predict and even plan preemptive threats. A cybersecurity center has been envisioned, and it's being built and assembled to be able to do this. And we believe that by having this collective approach as an industry, it will really help to mitigate the vulnerability of risk of cyber attacks, and it will provide that information sharing across the industry.
The Central Bank of Nigeria recorded the sum of $1.28 billion in the third quarter of the year, September ending, through its RT200 FX program. Citibank Managing Director, Mrs. Iretiogo Samuel Ogbu, informed journalists during the Virtual Bankers Committee press briefing Thursday that $870 million of the sum realized was sold in the I&E window, while 42 billion naira was disbursed as rebate.
The whole idea behind this initiative was to diversify sources of FX away from, as you know, the dominance of oil, and to increase the contribution of non-oil exports to increase availability, and to support export-oriented companies to expand their operations and capabilities. And we were very pleased to observe that this initiative is really beginning to bear fruit and show successes. And at the end of quarter 3, September, the total amount repatriated was $1.28 billion for the quarter. And out of that, the total amount sold into the IME window was $870 million, which ended up in terms of rebates that was paid by the central bank. And you may be familiar that rebates are paid 65 naira to the dollar. 42 billion naira in rebates have been paid in the third quarter. So we were very pleased to note that if you look at the amount of foreign currency from non-oil export proceeds, it's shown a very pleasing year-on-year increase.
The bank has, at its October meeting, also discussed extensively and supported the decisions of the Monetary Policy Committee to rein in inflation by hiking the benchmark interest rate and mopping up excess liquidity in the banking system through an upward review of the cash reserve ratio.
The two major decisions, as earlier mentioned, are the increase in the monetary policy rates by 150 basis points and the increase in the cash reserve ratio as well from 27.5 to 32.5. The logic, the basis behind this, we all support as banks, because this will help to mop up excess deposits out there, excess money in the system. When we mop up excess money, we reduce demand, reduce pressure even on foreign exchange as well. So it's a very good move in ensuring that all the efforts being made in the past to curbing inflation comes to fruition. Part of what this will also do is ensure that the excess funds with us as banks as a current account is kept safely for customers, to the point where it will only be released when truly needed. And so for us as banks, we're in support, and we believe that everybody within the country should understand the move behind the decisions that have been taken.
Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, has received the Euroknowledge Africa Most Innovative Digital Transformation Governor of the Year Award 2022 from the Foreign Investment Network (FIN). Presenting the award to Mr. Emefiele at a ceremony held in Washington, D.C. last week, Thursday, on the sideline of the annual meetings of the IMF World Bank Group, the advisor, Euroknowledge, Mr. Andreas Dutchman, commended the CBN governor for leading innovation among central banks on the African continent. In his acceptance remark, Mr. Emefiele thanked Euroknowledge and the Foreign Investment Network for the honor. He dedicated the award to the management and staff of the CBN for their creative ideas, while thanking Nigerians for their support to the bank.
This award is not just for me, it's meant for all of us who have worked hard in the last 8.5 years to keep Nigeria strong, to keep the Nigerian economy strong and growing. Today, we'll talk about the frontier market. And what I keep telling people is that as you continue to think about growth opportunities in the world and you are looking at Africa, naturally you will have to think about some of the big economies in Africa. Nigeria, Angola, South Africa, Egypt are economies that you will need to think about. And I dare say that these economies hold strong opportunities, with opportunities for high yield and profitable projects. And I can only seize this opportunity to encourage our friends in the foreign investor community to continue to take a look at Africa. Africa yearns for growth, Africa yearns for development. But we cannot do this alone. We will continue to need the support of the rest of the world. But I can assure all of us that as we do this, the opportunities are there and we will not regret the opportunities. The opportunities are there.
When you run a business in Nigeria, cash collection can be such a big deal. At first, it was just you and the product. And then you have a shop, then 10 more shops, in 10 different locations, in 5 different towns. Wow, that's 50 cash points. And 50 cash points could mean 150 different cashiers to manage. Now, that's a big business. With bigger cash collection demands, that's where we come in. Introducing eNaira Web Wallet. It makes managing cash collection as easy as ABC. Yes, 3 simple steps. We help you with 1. Setup, 2. Onboarding, and 3. Start your cash collection. With all your cashiers on point, all your customers have to do is this. Walk up to a cash point, scan the QR code, the amount, and bam! Your money is here just like that. We provide 24/7 support for any issues that may arise. We're just a phone call away, or you can also email us. No matter how much the business grows, we're here to grow with you and help you collect more cash every step of the way.
eNaira. Same Naira, more possibilities.